Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're looking at the most dramatic casualties caused by dragons in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Number 10. Pyat Prie's Punishment, Game of Thrones. Pyat Prie is one of the first to learn the hard way that messing with the mother of dragons is a grave mistake. When Daenerys arrives in Qarth, she encounters the city's ruling council, the 13, which includes the eerie warlock Pyat. Ghoulish in appearance, Pyat is an untrustworthy trickster who dwells in the House of the Undying, where he locks up Daenerys' dragons.
They miss their mother. They want to be with you.
Determined to save her children, Dany enters his abode. Thinking himself very clever, Pyat entraps her, planning to keep her and her young dragons forever to fuel his magic. But he's in for a fiery surprise. In mere seconds, Pyat is burned alive at Dany's command. Number 9. Drogon vs. Lannisters, Game of Thrones. The Battle of the Gold Road between Daenerys' Dothraki horde and the Lannister army is where we first witness the full destructive power of Dany's dragons in combat. The Lannister army find themselves in a surprise attack by Dothraki forces. Just when they think things couldn't get any worse, Daenerys arrives on Drogon, a sight not seen since the Dance of the Dragons. Jaime's expression upon hearing the dragon's roars is priceless. Dany's dragon swoops in to absolutely decimate the Lannister army. The scene shows just how unbeatable the Targaryens are with their dragons. Number 8. Lord Randyll and Son, Roasted, Game of Thrones. All the survivors of the Battle of the Gold Road had to do was bend the knee to the Khaleesi and their lives would have been spared. Many soldiers, shaken by the might of Drogon, complied after Daenerys made her proclamation. But Lord Randyll and Dickon Tarly chose death over swearing their allegiance. Even in the face of death, they remained loyal to Queen Cersei, with Dickon blindly following his father to prove his devotion.
You will have to kill me too.
Step back and shut your mouth.
The result? Both father and son got roasted to ashes. Certainly not a fate one would wish on anyone. This execution served a dual purpose. It solidified Daenerys' image as a formidable conqueror, but also subtly hinted at her potential descent into madness, like her father. Number 7. Viserion attacks the undead army, Game of Thrones. Every scene with Daenerys' dragons making dramatic entrances is downright iconic, and the scorching of the undead army is one such spectacular moment. This epic scene unfolds as Jon Snow and his companions find themselves surrounded by a vast horde of whites. Their only hope is that Gendry will deliver their message to Daenerys in time. Watching Jon Snow and the others fight off the ice zombies is nail-biting stuff. But the real highlight is the arrival of Daenerys and her dragons, who unleash fiery torrents on the undead army. Sadly, this moment ends with Viserion being brought down by the Night King. Number 6. Lord Varys' Execution, Game of Thrones. The Master of Whispers is an enigmatic and fascinating character whom many fans have come to love, especially for his loyalty to the realm.
What do you want?
All I've ever wanted. The right ruler on the Iron Throne.
It's this loyalty that leads him to join forces with Daenerys and eventually conspire to place Jon Snow on the throne. When Daenerys told Varys at Dragonstone that she would burn him alive if he betrayed her, he should have taken her words more seriously. She does fulfill this promise in the final season's penultimate episode.
Dracarys.
It's haunting to watch Drogon emerge from the darkness and end such a great character's life. Number 5. Caraxes burns the Crab Feeder's army. House of the Dragon. The third episode of House of the Dragon delivered the chaos and combat fans had been eagerly awaiting. Furious with his brother, Daemon joins forces with Corlys against the Crab Feeder's army to reclaim the Stepstones. Acting as bait, he takes on the Crab Feeder's minions alone, drawing them out, but soon finds himself pincushioned with arrows. This is when Caraxes arrives and puts his penchant for burning and devouring to use. The moment of utter terror in the Triarchy as Caraxes descends is a fine showcase of the dread dragons embody. Number 4. Drogon bests the Sons of the Harpy. Game of Thrones. This Season 5 episode delivered one of Game of Thrones' most legendary scenes, where Drogon really got to cut loose. After Jorah dispatches a masked assassin attempting to kill Dany, she and her crew find themselves cornered by bloodthirsty Sons of the Harpy in Meereen's fighting pit. Suddenly, a distant screech pierces the air, followed by a dramatic pause, and Drogon descends, a magnificent symbol of Daenerys' power. This is why we love rooting for the Mother of Dragons. The image of Daenerys astride Drogon's scaly back soaring into the sky is undeniably a moment worth cheering for. Number 3. Revenge on Krasny's Mona Claus. Game of Thrones. Dany has had several defining moments that solidified her as a fierce character in Game of Thrones, and this is one of the most memorable. During her quest to establish her own army, Daenerys comes across the cruel slave masters of Astapor. Among them is the arrogant Krasnys. In exchange for the unsullied army, Dany hands over Drogon as payment.
This is done. You hold the whip.
During this bargain, he insults her in Valyrian, assuming she doesn't understand. However, after handing her the golden whip, he is left stunned when she turns to speak the same tongue. Dany orders her new army to sack Astapor, and in a powerful move, commands Drogon to burn Krasny's to a crisp.
Dracarys.
Number 2. The Decimation of King's Landing. Game of Thrones. In the penultimate episode of Game of Thrones, Daenerys finally succumbs to the Targaryen blinding rage during the climactic battle for the Iron Throne. Sitting atop her dragon over King's Landing and furious about losing everything, Dany can no longer contain her fury. Despite the city's bell ringing in surrender, she goes on a fiery rampage, destroying everything in her path and transforming from liberator to conqueror. Of course, no one liked this twist in her character, but you can't look away from the awful draconic destruction on display. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Vhagar kills Lucerys and Arax. House of the Dragon. Dragon-on-dragon warfare is one of the most anticipated events in House of the Dragon, and Lucerys and Aemon's fatal confrontation in Season 1 offers a tantalizing glimpse. It begins after Lucerys is dismissed from Storm's End by Lord Boros Baratheon, only to be chased on dragonback by Aemond. This intense pursuit unfolds in the stormy clouds as the swift Caraxes tries to evade Vhagar's claws. However, what starts as a dangerous game takes a deadly turn after Caraxes spits fire at Vhagar. Aemond loses control of Vhagar as he lunges out of the clouds and kills Lucerys and Caraxes. Whether it was an accident or not, Rhaenyra now has a very good reason to go to war. Let's talk dragons. What are your favorite dragon kills in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon? Share your most epic dragon moments in the comments section. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.